What's going on, guys? It's Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, ProWrestlingTheory.com, and UFC 204 is now in the books. I cannot believe what we just watched. History is finally written. What a night it was. I got to go out and enjoy myself for a little while. I did not keep live updates on Pure Evil MMA or Twitter or on Facebook. However, I made it home in time for the main event. Let's review this card, though. The main event, absolutely crazy. That first round and the second round had Hendo winning in that. Hendo coming out, boom, boom, lands it, drops Bisping, and then literally almost finishes again with that H-bomb. I was literally shaking the whole time. If you guys are just tuning in, I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA. This is the reaction video of UFC 204. Make sure you guys subscribe down below. I go live with Ted Check every Wednesday night. We have live discussion, Q&A with everybody, review of the week in the news, also the podcast, which is up on Apple iTunes. And if you're saying, well, Eddie, I do not have Apple, don't worry, because it's up on podbean.com. Go check it out. Pure Evil MMA. Episode number 18 just dropped. Say it ain't so, Jose. And I actually got to speak with Jorina Bars, the champion, who actually is one of the only people who have ever beaten Chris Cyborg, ever. And she actually calls out a super fight. Well, let's review the fight really quick. I got 7 out of 11 right tonight, guys. That's not that bad. That main card I had absolutely right. Let's review it really quick, though. The very first fight, Santos defeats Martins by decision at 5 minutes of round 3. Well, of course, it's 5 minutes of round 3. It's a decision. I got that fight wrong. Second fight, Perry. Perry defeats Robert by KO, round number 3. And you know what, guys? I called it out for you. I said, you might not see many names that you recognize here. Like, there's a handful of names you might recognize, but trust me when I say that it's going to be a night of finishes. And what was it, guys? A night of finishes. It was one of the best nights considering finishes. All right, so the next fight, Diakisi. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I called out knockout in the second round, and what happens, baby? Knockout round 2. Tumanov not going my way, though. I had Tumanov to win it by knockout in the third. It did not go my way at all. He actually lost by submission at 3 minutes and 1 second of round number 3. I didn't see it going that way. I thought Tumanov was going to come in and get the KO. However, Edwards, who's, a great fighter, and he definitely proved it tonight, because Tumanov is a test, without a doubt. Even though he won, he's still improving with that win as well. And Tumanov, I hope that he learned something from this fight. Davey Grant. When I was doing my prediction video, guys, down below, if you guys missed it, down below, I said, you know what, we really don't know what to expect here with Davey Grant. I've been a fan of him for a while now, but not really one of the best guys out there to put your money on. Davey Grant only 1 win by knockout, 7 wins by submission, but a 10-2 record. So his record looks amazing, phenomenal. 7 of those wins by submission. I called it out for him to win it by submission in the second round. That doesn't happen. He actually gets submitted himself at 3 minutes and 56 seconds of round number 3. And I told you guys this. Stasiak is a powerhouse himself. He has a lot of strength to him. So I got that off. Pickett, Brad Pickett. Said it again, guys. I did not want to pick Pickett here. Every time I pick Brad Pickett, he loses. And I figure we're looking at Pickett's record, 26-11, going up against Alcantara, who's 32-7. Both these guys veteran fighters. You would think that Pickett had the hometown advantage, but was it really pressure? Because he's actually, even though he came off a win, he's actually found himself in a pretty tough situation lately. With 8 wins by knockouts, 10 wins by submission, 8 wins by decision. He lost tonight to Alcantara by submission in the very first round, and I called it just like that. I called submission in round 3. He gets a submission in round number 1. So check that baby off. All right, Bektic going in here. I liked what I saw in him. Bektic, I thought, was going to get the knockout in the second round. Let's see what his record was. 10-0, undefeated. 6 wins by knockout, 1 win by submission. He's going up against Dolan, who was 14-6. I called it here. Bektic KO round 2. He gets a submission in the very first round at 4 minutes and 22 seconds. So congratulations to Bektic. That was a great call. Stefan Struve, 7 foot tall monster. We discussed this on Evil and Intoxicated here. Stefan Struve, who's 7 foot tall, monster. He's making his name in the division. He's been around for years and years and years, but hot and cold. Always hot and cold. You never know whether to pick him or what Struve is going to show up. Tonight, the Struve we all love showed up. Struve defeats Emelianenko by submission at 1 minute and 41 seconds of round number 2. What did I call it? I called a submission in round 3. So check that baby off. Struve, congratulations. He'll be in the top contender very soon. Very excited about him because he's coming off a hot knockout over Bigfoot Silva. Like I said, you guys all might. Everyone got a first round over KO over Bigfoot Silva. Yeah, but has it been a 17-second knockout? All right, OSP going against Jimmy Manua. Not going my way. OSP found himself in a very tough position tonight. Coming off a loss to John Bones Jones. I thought that loss would have helped him improve. He was a young prospect on the rise, was doing great. Took that chance with John Bones Jones, ends up losing. I really thought that he would have learned from that fight and was going to sink the knockout in the 3rd round. Nope, Manua defeats St. Preux by knockout at 2 minutes and 38 seconds of round number 2. Very interested in seeing what's going to happen next with OSP. He needs to get his foot in the door again because he was ranked number 5 going into this fight. Manua jumping the ranks. Big win for him. Vitor Belfort. This is a fight I really want to talk about. This was our co-main event tonight. Originally, I thought Vitor Belfort was going to win this fight. He's beating Dan Hendo, we just saw over there, who also fought tonight, going up against Gegard Mousasi. This fight was 7 years in the making. Originally, they were supposed to fight way back when. The fight never happened. Vitor got called up or something happened. Gegard got left in the dust. Wanted this fight. The time was perfect, though, tonight. I'm telling you right now, if this fight was going to happen 7 years ago, I'm sure that Gegard Mousasi, if he could choose, would have chose tonight. He called it out on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, saying that he was going to get the knockout in the 1st round, and we all said, hold up. I know Yusuf said it. I know a couple of the Pure Evil MMA Army said it. Like, hold up. Let's not forget, Belfort comes out like an animal in that 1st round, and Gegard Mousasi is a very slow starter. We gave that to him. And look what he does. Gets the knockout in round number 2. Congratulations to Gegard Mousasi. He wanted this win because he wanted the recognition that he thought that he deserves. Does he get it now? Does Gegard Mousasi get the recognition that he's been longing for after beating a name like Vitor Belfort or Vitor Gracie, like way back when? I don't know what to think about this because Vitor, everyone's asking, is this going to be his last fight? I don't think so, guys. I know they've had a rocky start, rocky last couple of fights, but this guy is a legend in his own right, just like Dan Henderson is. Not only that, he can kick half of the division's ass still. You can't just throw anyone in there with Vitor Belfort. They're going to get their bell rung. Gegard Mousasi had the skills, the tools. He's been waiting for this fight, been studying Vitor Belfort for years now. And what does he do? He calls it out. Mystic Mousasi with the knockout in the 2nd round, calling the win by knockout. I didn't really see that happening. I thought that he was going to get a submission win in the 2nd round. That's what I said. He gets the KO in 2. We can check that one off. That gets us up to our main event of the evening. And if you guys want a full breakdown, I'm going to be going live tomorrow to give a full recap of the week. And also, let's not forget, Pure Evil MMA episode number 19 is going to be up on Apple iTunes coming up Monday night. I'm going to be talking with Scott Zier, maybe Mayhem Miller. I got my fingers crossed. He's supposed to be giving me a call tomorrow. Really hope that he pulls through with that interview. Mayhem Miller, Scott Kent. And if you guys don't know who Scott Kent is, he is the CEO of Lion Fights. Don't know who Lion Fights is? That's where Chris Cyborg was signed to. That promotion, Jarena Barras had to win over her. It's a Muay Thai competition that always comes around here to the East Coast. Covered them not too long ago at Foxwoods, and now they're back in Vegas for Lion Fight 33. Very excited about that. They're making their name here in the United States, and it's the perfect time. 2016, what a year it is. And speaking of that, 2016, the legendary year, Michael Bisping. We finally give this to him. Michael Bisping, 2016 Fight of the Year. What do you guys think about that? Does Bisping deserve Fight of the Year? Let's take a look back. Early 2016. Bam, baby. Beats Silva in the O2 Arena by decision. Same place he fought Dan Henderson tonight. That was enough for you. He gets the title shot on short notice with Luke Rockhold. Bam, baby. Knockout in the very first round. Within the first 3 minutes of that very first round, he gets shut down. Bisping slowly on the rise. What fight does he call out here? The only fight that we wanted to see. Dan Henderson was about to leave the division. Bisping, you gotta get Hendo to fight you before he leaves. This is the perfect time. You fought him before, and what a perfect redemption to your story this would be. You finally get the belt. You're making the rise this year. Beat the greatest of all time. Take the champion's belt. Defend the only KO knockout that has been haunting you for years. He even said it. He said, this whole week, I just had jitters all week because I had to go back in there against Hendo. If Bisping lost against Hendo tonight, it was going to hurt him for the rest of his life. He gets dropped in that very first round. Very nervous. I was literally shaking that entire time. I don't know about you guys, but I was so tense. Hendo, his best chance in this fight was to beat Bisping in that first or second round. For this guy to go all 5 rounds was going to be asking for a lot here. However, the end of the very first round, Bisping gets dropped. Hendo came right back down with the H-bomb, and Bisping was like, oh no, throws his foot up. Luckily, dodges Hendo out of the way just the slightest bit to avoid that. Holds him down for the rest of the round. It could have been ended at any moment. Like I said in the prediction, like I said on the podcast, and like I said on Evil and Intoxicated, Hendo could be losing the entire time. There could be 5 seconds left, 4 seconds left. He gets that elbow, he gets that overhand, you're out for the night. We saw that in the first round. Going into the second round, nervous about this too. It was going back and forth, and if we look at the significant strikes in the first round and second round, Hendo was doing pretty good, but Bisping, man, he landed some beautiful leg kicks up high. He said that he was going to get the knockout that way, and he was really going for it. He even stumbled Dan Henderson a couple times throughout the fight. Here we go, guys. Round number 2, the same thing happens again. Bisping gets dropped, but makes a full recovery. He finishes that round out pretty well, but loses it. Hendo easily won the first round. I don't know what the judges were thinking for the second one. I thought Hendo could have won that second one, maybe Bisping. But on the judges' scorecards, Henderson won the first and second. Going into the third round, Bisping tried to slow it back a little bit. We saw him sitting down in his pocket a little bit in that first and second round. The third round, he started opening up a little bit more, being very careful of that counter, though, of Dan Henderson, knowing because that first and second round, he got caught, and he was making sure that he was very careful. If he tired Hendo out in that third round, he was going to have a better chance in the fourth and fifth, and that's what we saw there. I gave that third round to Michael Bisping. Going into the fourth round, once again, I had Bisping on top, Henderson's corner, really trying to get him pumped up. Like, we're in the championship round now. You really got to step it up here. You may have won the first, may have won the second. You need to seal one more round here. Bisping went in there with the perfect game plan, setting up the double jab and more leg kicks. He was landing these great leg kicks. Even stumbled Henderson. I'm pretty sure it was it was either the third or the fourth round where he stumbled Henderson. Henderson kind of covers himself up, but Bisping was smart. He wasn't going to make the same mistakes he made when he was younger. Saw him hurt, went in there, and in that second round, he did the same thing. Thought Hendo was hurt, and good news, he gets dropped himself to end that second round. But here in the fourth round, he wasn't making that mistake again. Saw Henderson was hurt, didn't want to rush in because he didn't want to get dropped, and just broke Henderson's body down little by little. Was landing that leg kick, hurting the arm of Henderson. Henderson was just loading up the whole time, waiting for that perfect shot. I was surprised. And yeah, it was a lucky thing for Henderson in that fourth round. I think it was the fourth round where he got that nut shot and had 4 minutes to recover. That was huge for Henderson. He was able to regain his breath and get his focus on a little more because he was hurt. Bisping was in the corner kind of taunting him, making mockery. And you know what? That's Bisping's game. So as soon as they went back in there, Bisping landed a couple of nice combinations. But Hendo right back at him. Bisping slides right out of the way of an overhand. I gave that fourth round to Bisping. So getting into our fifth and final round, this was Hendo's last dance. And you could feel it. You could feel the energy in the O2 arena here. Of course, when Henderson was making his walkout earlier in the night, they were all booing. But I recall in the very last round, crowd started cheering for Hendo. You know what? You got to give the legend the respect that he deserves. Fifth round, he's an old man. He deserves a round of applause, a standing ovation, making it 5 rounds, winning the first and second. Not only that, he can end the fight at any second he wants to. Bisping was the smarter fighter, though, here tonight. He fought him before in the past at UFC 100 and learned so much from that first loss. In that first and second round, man, it was scary. As the fight went on, Bisping became more comfortable and started feeling it a little bit more, realizing that this fight was his, that he just needed to stick with the same game plan that he was going with, which was throwing Henderson off with those leg kicks, going with those oblique kicks. He was throwing him off and getting right out of the way with those feints. Beautiful job by Bisping. Great job by Henderson, too. That fifth round, he was really trying to land it, really loading up, just couldn't connect with Bisping. No one knew what was going to happen, though. That fifth round, I really thought that Bisping won, so third, fourth, and fifth to Bisping. Round 1 and 2, Henderson. But you never know which way the judges are going to pull. However, we saw it happen in the Silva fight. Minion called it out, too. He was like, saying, if that Silva fight was in the O2 Arena, there's no way that Henderson's going to win right now. And that's exactly true, because the night that Silva fought Bisping, I thought I sided with Silva there. You know, that was a controversial fight, even though Bisping dropped him in the first and second round. I thought Silva did a great job, and there was a couple of mistakes there. We won't get into that. I really don't ever want to touch on that because I get so fired up. But, damn, Bisping coming out on top with the win over Dan Henderson. Henderson making a walkout speech, but the judges scoring this fight in ways as Bisping. It could have went either way, but if we look at this and break it down, guys, if any of you guys are out there are mad, I don't know why you are. Both of these guys put in a great performance tonight. Bisping redeeming himself from that huge, legendary knockout that he faced at UFC 100 against Henderson. And this is Henderson's last fight. Went all 5 rounds. For an old man, he did amazing. And he even said at the end of the fight, he was like, I wish they scored this fight off of looks or else I'd be winning. Because Bisping got that cut open and was bleeding like crazy. And he also said in that in his final speech, he was like, where were the cheers on my walkout? Because everyone, of course, stood up, giving him a standing ovation. That was awesome to see. A lot of the commentators almost getting teary-eyed. So Bisping calls out Weidman, Rockhold, Romero, and Jacare. He said, Weidman, you lost to Rockhold. Rockhold, you lost to me in 3 minutes of the first round. I took your belt, buddy. And then, of course, Romero, you fell for steroids. Tells Jacare, he's like, you guys get off the couch and let's go in there and do this. Now we got Weidman going up against Yoel Romero at UFC 205. And, of course, Luke Rockhold going up against Jacare. That is a scary fight if you are Luke Rockhold. Jacare has been on a tear lately. So a quick recap of tonight, guys. What a night it was. A lot of finishes. I called it out. A lot of finishes. I ended up going 7 for 11. So if I won any of you guys out there some money, I hope that you guys went with me on the main card because I went on the top 6 fights. That was Pickett versus Alcantara. I got that one right. Next fight, Bektic versus Doan. I got that one right. Next fight, Struve versus Emelianenchik. I got that one right. OSP I got wrong. Vitor Belfort versus Mousasi. Came in late, but I got it right on that. I hope you guys listen to me there. Bisping, Henderson, check that off. I hope you guys listen to me there as well. This is the second time I picked Bisping in an underdog fight. Was he the underdog coming in this fight? I'm not sure. But if we saw this matchup earlier in the year before the Silva fight, you guys wouldn't give. If I told any of you guys that are watching this right now that Bisping was going to be the champion in 2016, beating Anderson Silva, beating Luke Rockhold to win the title, and then defending that knockout against Dan Henderson to retire Hendo, you would all call me crazy. What a crazy night it was. Make sure you guys subscribe down below. What a night. And honestly, guys, I will be talking with everybody in the morning. So if you have any comments, make sure you follow me on Twitter and get your questions in. I will be speaking, hopefully, fingers are crossed for this one. I will be speaking with Mayhem Miller. Mayhem Miller, you guys, you don't know who that is. I don't know why you're watching an MMA video right now. If you guys got any questions that I could probably slip in there, drop them on my Twitter page or Facebook at Pure Evil MMA. Have a great night, guys. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA, ProWrestlingAuthority.com. I'm going to be announcing the winners of our UFC Pick'em League tomorrow morning. If you think that you won, make sure you tune in to Pure Evil MMA on iTunes and Podbean.com. Have a great night, everybody. I'm Evil Eddie. I'm out.